What's up, everybody? It's Saturday, fight day, and I'm watching Eubank Jr., Nigel Benn undercard fights, the co-main event right now. Jack Catterall is absolutely beating the shit out of Esserman right now. It's in the 5th round. But before the main event, I just want to do a quick prelude real quick. The background on this fight and why it is so massive. So, Eubank Jr., Conor Benn, both their fathers were huge superstars and world champions back in the 90s. They fought 2 times. The first time they fought was November 18th, 1990. Eubank Sr. was known as simply the best. That was his nickname. He was 24-0 with 14 KOs. He was challenging Dark Destroyer, the Dark Destroyer Nigel Benn. He was 27-1 with 25 KOs. He was the reigning WBO champion at middleweight. So their first fight was, like I said, November 18th, 1990 at National Exhibition Center in Birmingham, England. And both men had knockdowns in that fight. Nigel Benn will protest that his knockdown was a slip when he fell, but he did knock down Chris Eubank Sr. in that fight, had him hurt. But then Eubank Sr. drops and hurts Nigel Benn, and it was stopped. The referee stopped him with 5 seconds left in the 9th round. And that's when Chris Eubank Sr. had won his first WBO middleweight title. After that fight, people were, up in just over themselves by the stoppage, and there was a lot of controversy. But Eubank Sr. had become a superstar that night. And then the aftermath of that, they went on, they fought a few more fights themselves, but the rematch was booked, and it was billed as Judgment Day. It was booked October 9th, 1993, so almost 3 years later after the initial fight. Eubank came in at 35-0-1. He had a draw. He had 13 KOs. He was the WBO champion. And this was a super middleweight title, so they went up a weight class. The Dark Destroyer Nigel Benn was 37-2 with 32 KOs, and he was a WBC super middleweight champion. It was October 9th, 1993 at Old Trafford Stadium, where Manchester United plays. They packed it with 42,000 spectators at Old Trafford. And this fight was not as big a banger as the first one, which is what I'm kind of thinking the second fight between their sons is going to be. But the scorecards are 115-113 for Eubank Sr., 114-113 for Nigel Benn, and the last judge had it 114-114, so it was a draw. What happens when there's a draw? There's always, there's always questions. A lot of people thought that Nigel Benn won that fight. Some people thought Eubank Sr. won that fight, but we'll never know because they never had a third one. Until this year, April 26th, I believe, Eubank Jr., the son of Eubank Sr., fought Conor Benn, son of Nigel Benn, and they packed damn near 80,000 spectators inside of Tottenham Hotspur Stadium for the third fight between a Eubank and a Benn. And I gotta admit, this was the best of the three. The best of the three. These guys both had chips on their shoulders. You can only imagine if your father's a world champion, the face of English boxing, that you would feel some type of way, and that you've probably always lived your life in their shadow. Eubank Jr. was always Chris's son, Chris Eubank's son. Conor Benn was probably always Nigel's son. So when these two guys came together in April of this year at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, it was an absolute banger. Like, I'm not bullshitting. I've seen great fights. I love the Arturo Gatti versus Mickey Ward fights, the Morales Barrera fights, the Israel Vasquez versus Rafael Marquez fights, the Juan Manuel Marquez versus Manny Pacquiao fights. Those rivalries, I've seen them all, and this one was up there with them. Like, I cannot lie. Like, it was such an amazing fight. I still believe it's one of the contenders for Fight of the Year. These guys went to absolute war, banged it out. Eubank Jr. got the victory. I could have saw it as a draw. I thought Conor Benn did more damage in that fight, landed the bigger shots, but, he's a smaller man. He's a 147 that went up to 160 to fight in Eubank's division. And Eubank Jr. is older. He's been around longer. He is a little of a veteran by now, and he absolutely surged towards the late rounds and got the win. I could have seen it going either way, possibly even a draw, but, you know, and tonight they're going to run it back for the second fight between the sons, the fourth fight between the families. I'm excited. It's co-main event right now. I can't wait till the walk-ins that happen. It's going to be crazy. I'll probably go live once the walkouts start, but, man, that's the prelude, and that's why this fight is so big. I mean, the history between the two families is an amazing. You don't get that in boxing, and that's the beautiful thing about boxing, man. It just transcends through the generations. Like, there's guys that I saw growing up as a kid who now their kids are fighting. So it's a beautiful thing, and I love it, and I hope you guys love it as well. So that's my little prelude for Eubank Benn 2, basically Eubank Benn 4. So hit the like, hit the subscribe. See you on the next one. Peace.